So, when we're talking about people who don't have shelter and the fact that you weren't able to have people remain in shelters, Richard, how did the state respond?
Yeah, I mean, I can recall back March 7th when our state reported the first case of COVID-19 in our state. Frankly, I think the homeless shelter system in our state was a little bit caught off guard. We had heard about the pandemic and cases in New York and other states coming and knew that we needed to do something to prepare. But frankly, the first week of March was a fairly dramatic turnaround in events. What the homeless shelters across the state did was essentially began to implement some early infectious disease controls and protocols, just stepping up the level of cleaning and disinfection, encouraging staff and residents to socially distance. But frankly, by the second week of March, we realized we were not going to get very far in stopping the spread of the kind of really rapid spread and outbreaks of COVID-19 among the homeless population. Picture a typical shelter where people are sleeping in kind of dorms or bunks. You have beds stacked on top of each other. You have beds that are spaced typically inches apart. And everything we had been hearing from CDC and from other communities was that's just a recipe for disaster with respect to really quick spread of COVID-19. So we work with the state and convince them that we needed to do something to protect the homeless population. By the way, by doing that, we would not only protect the homeless population and the staff who serve them, but also the broader community, because people who are in shelters are there at night, they're sleeping in tight quarters, and out in during the day, they're out and about in the community. Mm-hmm. So we could potentially see shelters be a vector for community spread of COVID-19. So we work with the state to convince them to authorize the statewide decompression of shelters, essentially where the state contracted with hotels across our state, and we moved within a matter of a few weeks, about 50% of our homeless shelter population out into hotel rooms.